The Indian Embassy in Washington has issued a rare advisory following the revelation that fraudsters use the embassy's telephone lines to cheat people for money. The Indian Embassy has informed the US government about it and launched its own internal investigation. The embassy has warned people against entertaining any suspicious calls and has said, and I quote, "These fraudsters either seek personal information like credit card details, etc., or try to extort money from Indian nationals by inter alia claiming that there are errors in their passports, visa forms, immigration forms, etc., which could be rectified by paying money, and at the same time warning that these so-called errors, if not rectified, could result in deportation of the individual to India or their imprisonment in the USA." End quote. Now, some of those Indian nationals living in the US who received such calls brought the matter to the notice of the embassy officials. Here's how it has apparently been working. Now, fraudsters make calls aimed at cheating people. Now, some phone calls are shown as being from the embassy telephone numbers. Other callers use Indian embassy identity. Fraudsters also claim that they received such information from the embassy authorities in India as well. Visa applicants received fraud calls purporting to be from the Indian embassy. Meanwhile, the Indian embassy has started collecting information from the public, including details of the Western Union account number or bank account details where the money was transferred. Now, in its advisory, the Indian embassy said that none of its officials make any telephone calls seeking personal information from any Indian or foreign national. The embassy seeks additional documentation, if required, only through emails originating from the official domain. All right, joining me live from the WION newsroom is my colleague Aisha Sindhu. Aisha, unprecedented in many sense of the term, phone calls going out of the Indian embassy to people asking for money.
Absolutely, Ramesh. It's also a case of almost the tables being turned, because in the past, many Americans have faced, similar fraudulent calls from call centers based out of India. So there has been action that's been taken jointly between India and the United States to bring these people to book. But this is the first time that an embassy's phone lines have been misutilized to sort of garner information, which is obviously of a sensitive nature from a number of people living in the US. The reason it came to light was because certain Indian nationals in the US received these fraudulent calls. They thought that something was fishy about them and decided to inform the embassy in Washington, D.C., and therefore action has been taken thereafter. They're also trying to, of course, determine what exactly was the nature of these calls, who was making them. I should add over here that though the spoofing technology is easy to procure in the United States, it's easy to track as well. Finding out who those numbers were utilized by is going to remain the big challenge for investigative authorities. But the Indian embassy has already gotten information across to the United States government as well. So we'll have to wait and watch how exactly this proceeds. Hopefully it's been nipped in the bud, though.
All right, Aisha, thank you. That was my colleague Aisha Sindhu joining with all the latest on this story.